Alright, welcome to JCCR Racing, where this is all about the GT7 guide to improvement and wins. And of course, with improvement, you need to, as much as possible, not regress. So currently we're in the C League. We started in the E League about 4 months ago, racing online during the holidays. And, just by applying a handful of racing techniques and craft, we've gone from E to C, I feel, is pretty quickly. Maybe some of you have done much better than that, but for me, I'm a slow learner, I guess, and it's pretty quick, and it's just been from following a handful of tricks that we're going to go over, and a whole lot more, getting some online battles, have a lot of fun, getting some Mario Kart style driving, do our best to drive safe and clean, but a huge congratulations here to Cosmic Man, Ozzypog, AHR, Porsche GT, and a special congratulations to Super Doofus pulling a very quick time. Great job, buddy. Very quick time for a C-rated driver on this track. And let's load up a global ranking here. So only 2.5 seconds off the global ranking. That is incredible. So first thing you're going to want to do is take a car that you can be consistent with. So love how the Ferrari is good here. Love how the AMG is good here. So we're on the AMG. So take a car you're consistent with. I might try the Ferrari, as I can be consistent with the Ferrari, and it's fast here. So those were your fastest cars. So picking a car that's fast on the track might also mean that it's easier to drive on the track. And of course, it helps if you actually turn your steering wheel on. Now, Super Doofus, let me know what you did with the brake controller to get that time, and what I should use for the brake controller here in the Mercedes AMG. Alright, so Ghost does not seem to have been loaded in, but oh, there we go. Alright, so part of getting better is not regressing. And that means before you get into the new weekly race with no experience, it's a good idea to get a good... I should probably put in an hour of laps in. We're going to put in 6 minutes of laps. Really fat, kind of maximum pace this. Lots of trail braking. Fantastic, Super Doofus. Thank you very much for that tip. Oh, I do not remember this track. Good thing we're not online, ruining our lobby rating. So we're in the C lobby, and whether you're in the A+, A, B, C, D, or E lobbies, you're definitely going to want to, if you're aiming to get wins and improve, get a little practice in. So bear with me for the next 5 minutes as we get laps in and see what we can do on this track that, well, it's been a little while since we raced it. See if we can get the hang of it all over again. Super Doofus, I'm going to catch your quote there, but at the end of these laps, just because I don't have... I can try to get it going here. But I don't have the live stream open, and they did not show me that entire message. Oh, got wrecked there. So let's see here. I'm gonna get to the live. Oh, here we go. Okay, the last section of this track is mostly apex, so they only cut off the word apex. Not great. So let's try to get a little practice in here. Hey, good evening, Incognito. Good to see you, friend. Thanks for making it in. Silk! Yeah, late apex a lot. Yes, yeah, that's true. To get that corner, you really gotta be very late on the throttle. So that's what I've done wrong this whole time. Silk, Super Doofus, thank you for giving me the information I needed to correct a major error that I've performed over and over, well, maybe 2 months ago when I raced on this track, or a month and a half. However number of weeks it's been out for. You gotta catch that apex. Whatever track you're taking on, especially when it's a new track, I'd say the first few laps, don't focus so much on getting a fast lap. Focus on just getting the actual apexes. Because if you catch the apex, that's the inside of the turn. So we'll go over it in the next one, but if you do that, you're gonna have pretty good lap times. So here, you wanna start turning in on that marker, and we're going too fast. So we cooked it, trying to get a faster lap. So not following my own advice at all, it looks like. Need to probably drive this at about 80% speed and just tell myself, I'm going too fast, because you really gotta learn your brake points. So you wanna turn in at the marker and catch the marker, so then you can get back on the accelerator. You get pushed out of the turn further down the track, and you can get back on the accelerator earlier. Hey, Ricky, what is up, friend? Oh, here I am just spinning out. So yeah, the Ferrari with how great it is at kind of turn-ins, I would think would be fantastic on this track. So it looks like Super Doofus, you've got a 4-second faster time than me. Viking King Gaming, good day, you big buff Viking man. Thank you for making it in. Very kind to making it into the live. Taking on this track, looking and kind of am a bit of a noob on this track. I've raced it a few times, maybe whenever it was up online, maybe 2 months ago, but still do not have the hang of it here. Gonna try to really pay attention to these markers. It is okay, folks, in racing just as in life. Got to put your ego aside and sometimes go with the training wheels, because the important part is learning. It's all about being growth focused on learning. That's what's important. And we can worry about the actual overall outcomes after, but as long as we're getting better, then we're doing great, no matter how silly we look in the process. And anyways, when you put the ego aside, you can actually just have fun in the process. So yeah, getting the feel for this track, and can definitely understand Super Doofus why you said the Ferrari 458 Italia is good on this track. It's a turn-in king. Let's see, can I bring this down to 142? Oof, nope, still way off. I've got 4 seconds to shave on that track. Because that was not a C time. I have a feeling we're going to be racing against people who are, yeah, 4 seconds faster. Well, Super Doofus, congratulations on getting a very fast C lobby time. Because first here, Alex Drift up there has a 140 something, probably about 147, 149. So like yourself, Super Doofus. So I'm very pleased and happy for you, buddy. Let's see what they're racing up here. We got the Lamborghini, the AMG, a few 911s, a few Ferrari 458s. Big techs in front of us with the Audi R8. But Viking, thank you so much for making it in, dropping in, saying hello to the gang here. So the point of this channel is to learn and grow together, as sometimes I will race rather well, and sometimes I'll race like a clown, and it'll be a little embarrassing. But the point is to come in, have fun, learn and grow together, support each other, have a good friendly community, and of course, car talk, Car chat is always welcome. So Alex Drift in a Ferrari 458 up there. Second in that morning from C region, right on. So what country in the C region are you from, Only Drive 2024? Welcome, friend. So, got the training wheels on, we got the markers up because we're taking on what feels like a new track, even though we've raced it a little bit a good while ago. And we're going to, of course, have radar on because we want to improve. We want to try to stay in the C lobby, and that means not getting punted off the track and not accidentally causing little battles, little wars with other drivers. So we're going to keep an eye on the radar and make sure we don't push people around. Not gonna punt that guy, despite the slow speed. Rocket crash, I'm sure doesn't actually want to crash like a rocket, and I'm not gonna send him to the rocket crash zone. Oh, from Malaysia, very cool. Thank you, Only Drive, from tuning in from really the other side of the globe. Really appreciated, friend. So just by safe driving and putting the pedal to the metal on the first lap, here we are in 9th, so we've jumped up 3 spots. 8th is pretty much assured if we can just hold position here. Oh, because 8th has a 5-second, but that was not safe or smart driving on my part. I'm sorry to the driver who had the 5-second penalty. Was not coming to get retribution for your 5-second penalty. I had no beef with you. I was just late on the brakes. Or maybe you're early, but more likely I was late because I don't know the race. So that 2-second penalty is going to put us back near last. But interesting to see, we would have been in 8th. So up 4 positions just by safe, smart driving. So I'd say that is one major key to online racing. Stay out of trouble. Don't create any enemies. Don't get caught staring in your rearview mirror because there's like some little Japanese anime imagery. Alright, so back in 12th, about to end 13th. Big Tex passes us. Thank you, Big Tex, for that safe and smart pass. Not taking us to Pound Town on the straightaway. So we'll go from the complete outside to the inside. So we've got no one to defend from. So we'll take the widest turn, the turn that covers the most amount of asphalt. Alright, okay, so I remember racing this in a GR2 car, the GTR GR2. The power lines in the back look like the typical hydroelectric power lines that we have here in Quebec. So I think this lap's going to be faster just because I'm actually driving it with what feels quite a bit slower, but I'm not cooking any turns. Cooking a turn for my lingo means going in way too quickly and not getting the right turn point. Sort of like that. That's slightly burnt. Okay, but I guess it was slower. My mistake. Okay, learning that that's about the last point we can brake at least for the AMG, and brake balance at 1. So, slight bit less of braking in the front wheels, so the calipers aren't gripping quite as hard on the front wheels to allow them to rotate and turn the vehicle, allow the vehicle to turn. No wheel rotation on the front wheels means no turning. Well, that's a slightly burnt turn. All right, so got to actually start using the handful of tricks here to actually improve. Outside, catch the inside apex so we can get back on the throttle. And we can pretty much almost always get back on the throttle once that inner apex marker, so there we can usually get back on throttle. But I wasn't up on the apex enough. So they all did that turn faster and spread out the gap because they actually got to the apex, meaning they could be back on the throttle so much earlier. Hey, good evening, Melissa. Drive and thrive. That is a fantastic sounding slogan. I like it. Trying to thrive. The lap times are coming down, but kind of tackling this with 2 laps of experience other than racing this, I think, like 2 months ago with the GR2 car. But anytime you're taking on any new task in life, whether it's a new sport, hobby, business, you got to put your ego aside and realize that making mistakes and looking a little silly is part of the process, and just enjoy the process. Count the little increases as wins. Just focus on the process. Watch the pros, figure out what you can do, sort of imitate, but imitate in a manner. Sometimes you need to take what might be simple for one person, difficult to another, and that means understanding how you can slowly make that what's now very difficult task into a simpler task. So often breaking down into little mini goals. And I find sim racing is very, at first, unbelievably difficult. And the only way you can get better at it is either a ton of patience and blind faith, or through the process of just saying, okay, I'm going to learn how to take this type of turn, learn my break points for this turn, and just learn to race one turn at a time. And Rocket Crash has, well, crashed like a rocket into the wall. Like a rocket trying to break through the firmament. It needs a lot of power, and that was not enough power to go through the wall there. Good evening, Boosted 5.0. I must say today was a good day coming home from work, because it was a day in which I came home from work in the GT350. It's not my daily, in the sense that I don't take it every single day, but I do take it usually at least once, sometimes twice a week, unless the weather is real bad. So it's almost daily. I guess tonight is the night of having the YouTube legends, people who are well known, drop in. So thank you very much, folks. That's very kind to drop in and very, very much appreciated. Blessed to have the racing community be so kind and welcoming, as well as very, because I've only been doing this since December on this channel, but also very generous with helping me learn. I'd say that a lot of the people that come on the lives are better drivers than I am, sometimes much better drivers. And I guess the learning that they're doing is learning to be better coaches and mentors, better communicators. I am trying to avoid you, my friend. No need to hit me on the straightaway. We collided in the turn while I was on the inside. So enjoy that 12th position. 12th, 13th. They're both not great and will not help us stay in the C League. All right, 51 seconds. Okay, there, 4 seconds. We got the last racer across the line. Time came down, and you got the Beetle in first. Whew. Not a vehicle that I can I find it's just a funky vehicle for GR3, which is, for me, the class of dream vehicles. Mr. Knight Rider Jim, welcome in, friend. Thank you for making it again. This must be like the 100th live that you've caught, so very kind and appreciated. So, yeah, not a great showing. New track, taking it on with a new car, and anything below 8 C rating goes down. But I do want to take a moment to say congratulations, Jonas01, for winning. I just wish it wasn't in the Beetle, but good on you, mate. And good job having your safety rating go up, so you didn't do any dirty dog driving. Alex Drift, great. Good work on silver. You got bronze. Congratulations, FSTWRX, and to the rest of the pack. To everyone who got their position nice and clean and had their safety rating stay the same or go up, congratulations. And I am not part of that category because I accidentally punted someone off the track, and I am sorry for that. It's not advantageous to me, and it certainly wasn't deliberate, but I got to learn to control that car. Now, let's see. We'll select from the garage a different vehicle. Let's do a few laps in the Ferrari, see how that feels. We got the JCCR Racing Team livery here, created for us by Aussie Pug. Thank you so much, Aussie Pug. Of course, Gran Turismo 7 never fixing this update, still assuming that we love playing the virtual mechanic. Of course. Of course. I don't change my tires in the real world. That is back-breaking stuff. I have the equipment at work, and I'm not going to do that at the end of a day, finishing at 8 o'clock at night. I'm not going to spend an hour changing the tires on my vehicle. I don't also want to spend time doing it here. But hey, Gran Turismo 7, whatever floats your boat. All right, so slowest amongst the friends. Let's try to improve on that. Now, we could load the Lamborghini, but because there's a Ferrari, we should follow. Ricky actually know how to drive the 911, so if the next few laps don't work out for Ferrari 458, I'm going to the 911. Certainly like the turn-in on the Ferrari. Nice, easy turn-in. Great sounding, flat plane crank, V8. So that means the crankshaft, instead of kind of being all crooked, when you look at it, you're like, hey, that's flat. That's kind of, you know, in a straight line. But the important part isn't how it looks, it's how it performs. Because it's at the very bottom of the engine, and essentially controls the whole motor. It's the base. What's important is that it creates unbelievably high revving V8s like the Shelby GT350 that I have, and you can catch that over on Johnny's Car Care and Reviews as we long-term review it. Important part is that it has a red line of 8,250 RPM. If you compare that to the complete opposite engine setup, a pushrod engine, a typical pushrod engine, depending what decade we're looking at, had as low as a RPM band starting at 4,000 or nowadays typically 6,000 RPM. Didn't quite catch the right angle there, as I didn't go wide enough on the track and turn in at the right spot. Let's try to get this a little better. But the Ferrari feels light, nimble, very easy to handle on this track. And I gotta remember the 458, unlike that Mercedes AMG, does like to be revved out. Okay, so I think that's 2 seconds faster than the AMG time. Top of the candies. right, so that's a much faster turn than I took there. And it's what's great about following the Ghost. You can really see where you're, you know, making a major mistake, correct it. And it's also good for fine-tuning your driving. But I do find it's, at least for me, easier to get the apexes on this track, the Ferrari, than it was the AMG. Well, Super Doofus, thank you very much for recommending the 458 Italia for this track, because you've made it to pretty much all the lives. You're the ultimate pit crew companion, and I think you know my driving style and the mistakes I made better than anyone. So thank you very much, Super Doofus, for suggesting it. This is a perfect fit for me. Now I say that and haven't tried the 911 and will, but I think I'm going to save that for tomorrow night. You're going to have to spend all week, Super Doofus, trying to be as fast as your lap time. Still 1.3 seconds slower, I think, than your lap time, Super Doofus. So I gotta work away. It's a fun challenge when you've got your friends' times posted, and you can, you know, every week try to compete with them, learn and grow together. Hey, Cameron, how are you? Good evening, friend. Are you racing this race this week? Are you racing online? And if so, what car are you racing with? What tickles your fancy this week? It looks like I fell into some bad habits again, as this is going to come in back at a 144. But more confident going into this race with the Ferrari 458. MG just not getting the drive style. I do like how much of a German tank it is. Does not get pushed around very much on a track. Alright, getting better at that corner, as we're actually not that far off the Ghost. Okay, at least I got one of the major important turns sorted out. All right, and boy did that ever help. Starting in 5th is a huge improvement than starting in 12th. But it is 2.5 seconds or 2.9 seconds faster. Cheers, folks. Well, second place has an interesting name there. Scudieri. Yeah, so, and first, M-Ray. So we got M-Ray up there in a 458. Second place with 458, Mercedes AMG GT3. Someone who's clearly mastered that car far better than I have on this track. And we do have a 911 in front of us, Judge Fudge. So I guess he's some sort of fudge judger. He must watch all sorts of fudgery, not fudgery occurring, but fudge making, and then he judges it. So interesting name, interesting group of racers. Comical names certainly don't bother me one bit. Excessively long names, though, when I'm driving. Bit of a distraction because I tend to read and look at everything. Probably something that should be avoided. Focus on the track. Looks like we got Ticket Bait VR, probably racing in virtual reality, behind us. Coco is short, not far off, as well. Let's get the radar on. Important to focusing on improving. So I'd say a big part of the guide to improving also is racing in a traction control setting that you're comfortable with. I don't know this track. I'm racing with cars I don't race with that often. And I think it's pretty darn important that I don't lose 15 seconds completely spinning out. So to me it's important, to actually have two traction control on two. It's a nice happy medium between not doing what the Mercedes just did. Oh, Christopher Bieber, that would be awesome, mate. Yes, do get that safety rating up so we can race together. Great clean pass by the Judge Fudge. I don't feel judged by him at all because he did not dish out any pain. And I'm being careful. Love having engine noises to opponent cars on high, which really helps you hear when a car is beside you. That's pretty important. You just don't want to start any grudge matches. Partial throttle through there. Too much throttle, and well, out and spinning out even more. Partial throttle here as well. And I do like how the Ferrari is handling these curbs that I'm eating up pretty well, actually. Yeah, and I think there we might either had some clown Mario Kart style racing, and by clown racing I mean like Twisted Metal style, violent racing, or it might be a traction control zero incident where he's just a little too heavy on the throttle coming out because, well, it's day one, for me it's night one, it's race 2 of this race. So again, that's why the traction control is helping me out. It's part of my race safe and smart protocol. Last race would have gone better had I not done the silly and clownish thing of red-green turtle shelling another car. The green turtle shell, not deliberate. Red turtle shell means it was out and heat-seeking. Holding fourth for a brief moment here. Pushing the tires to their limits. Taking everything I can from them. Hey, Coco! That is very odd to have this name in front of me as my father calls my stepmom Coco. So this is just kind of weird and awkward. I do not like following my father when he drives his Mustang and I'm in my Mustang because he varies the speed between going way too fast to going way too slow. Oh, and we've been attacked. Oh, we didn't not mix up and create problems for anyone, but sometimes you'll just take a hit just the same. I would like to finish at least top 8. That'd be a small win for night 1 because that means it'll help us stay in the C lobby. Our C lobby points, our ranking will go up. Gonna pass Sticky Cheese here. Yeah, that hit cost us a lot of positions. 4 positions. We're in 4th, now we're in 8th. Make sure we don't get a 2-second penalty from punting him off track. But we did take the turn just a little bit more advantageous. Oh, fantastic incognito. Getting C easily and into it really quickly is great. You must have had some sim racing experience. I came in with very little. I mean, like, my race sim experience came from 24 years ago, before I started racing in December. And no, I should say that before December, I spent maybe a month, maybe 20 hours worth sim racing before my daughter was born. When I bought, the Sony TV to go with the PS5. And I'm very pleased with purchasing the steering wheel. I started off with the very cost-effective T150 steering wheel that I bought new. from Thrustmaster. Found it good, but figured I was probably leaving some joy on the table. And I'm just really thrilled with this Thrustmaster GT2. Mind you, I think it has 8 pounds of torque. And I run the controller on like 5 out of 10. So clearly 4 pounds of torque would have been fine. Oh, you start from the back incognito. That is quite the challenge. Wow. Oh, 142.9. Let's in the race, so that's good. Let's see if we can get it down just a wee bit faster. Top the candies, throwing in the manual braking. Important to improving drive speeds, because we can just brake a little bit later when we've got engine braking and left foot braking. Of course, left foot, left brake pedal. Right foot is the gas. So not switching over and only using my right foot. Cars in front are fast and are giving me a bit of a driver's ed lesson here. A little driving course on the track. Just copying them out. Hopefully no one makes a major error that I copy and crash out, which is a danger of following and learning from racers while you're online and not in, let's say, the A or B league. Definitely to be somewhat avoided in the E and D league, as the car in front of you very likely will take an incorrect line or accident-inducing line. Cars in front of us are providing a good teaching here. I'm going to try to get a little drift advantage from Ticket Bait VR here. Oh, that is not cool of me. I completely dive bombed that corner. Not cool at all. And I had my foot to the floor though. I was full on braking, but I started braking a little later. And I guess maybe too late there. Glad at least I didn't punt him off the track or punted him into a spin out the way we got punted out when we were in fourth. Ooh, heavy on the brakes there to avoid an accident. Early on the brakes to make sure I avoid a collision. I don't want to ruin anyone's last lap with a punt. Oh yeah, we got him here. If we can just land this last turn. Yeah, we got him. Oh, I had to let off the throttle though to avoid an accident. Do we have enough straightaway? Oh, he's got more of the high-end power. Oh, close. Close. Fun finish. Fun finish. Couldn't quite grab fifth, but a nice improvement from last race. 458 was an excellent fit. Silk, thank you so much. And Incognito, that is big of you to not post a time, so you start in the back and then you climb through. Posting a time advance, a good qualifier though, will definitely help you not have to sort of have as many potential battles. And that's something else that I'd mention for kind of trying to keep when you're looking for improvement and you're looking for wins, getting a good qualifying time and starting in, let's say, 6th or higher is pretty important, because when you start in last, well, you've got 15 cars ahead of you that might be there for that arcade battle action. They might be a battle bot. You know, but that's true. Posting a time does put us under unwanted pressure. Because in the race, I could have easily made a mistake saying I got to get my qualifying time or higher, so I need to get a 142, and pushing it too hard beyond the limits is often the most common cause of an accident is ourselves. Oh, incognito. That is. I'm sorry to hear that, and I don't know what I can say. All I can say is anxiety is usually caused when we're worrying about the future, and less present when we're just in the moment, really focusing hard on the here and now. So I don't know if there's any way where you can just not so much think about what position you're in, just enjoy each turn for itself and sort of almost not completely tune out other vehicles, but just focus on like, hey, you know, where's my brake point? Where's my drive line? Am I getting the apex? And just focus really more so on the track and not so much on time or position. I wish you the best of luck with that. That's never, any type of anxiety is never easy. As you know, in my very first streams, I was talking about, you know, racing being sort of a good analogy to life, and how when you look behind you in racing, you'll end up in the wall. Just like if you worry too much about the past or beat yourself up about the past in the real world, you end up with depression. Oh, well, Incognito, thank you very much for your support. That is very kind of you. And whatever you choose to do for your spare time, I wish you the absolute best and a good time, and always wish that you'll also, like me, put the ego aside, focus on improvement, and whether you know, even if it's incremental, and enjoying the process of whatever you do in life. Always trying to improve life and have less problems. I used to go, when I first got out of the military, I had I don't know what we would call it, but a lot of trouble being around people, and would sort of half, you know, not feel so well if I went to a busy place like Costco or the shopping mall. Just would not feel safe at all, and sometimes just had to kind of sit down in a corner more than once. So I wish you the absolute best. Here we go. So car selection. Let's see what kind of lap we can post in the 911. Give it a little whirl. See how it does on this track. Ooh. All right. Didn't even know I had those credits there. Enjoying the game more so since I stopped worrying about credits. Is there a 911 here we can follow? Well, we'll follow a 458 here, and we'll be getting into the last race of the night. And if ever there's a huge demand for a lobby midway through race 1, well, it can turn into a lobby night. I'm never, you know, completely fixed saying it's got to be, you know, 2, 3, or 4 online races. Oh, the McLaren. Yes, I feel like very much like trying out the McLaren. I think that's going to be a night 2 issue, because here we're going to try out the 911 for the last race. If I can post an okay time with it. I do like racing the 911. I actually own one. The most inexpensive 911 out there, the 996 generation, but I'm absolutely thrilled with it for many reasons. I like how this comes off turns. Let's see how the turn in is on this high-speed turn here. I love how the McLaren looks. In the real world, I don't like how the McLaren has build quality issues and electrical problems, but I love how it looks. Beautiful car. Very cool design. There we go. Gotta rev out this 911 to get it into its peak power range. feels a lot slower for me, at least, on this track compared to the 458, but I'll know in just a moment. Sometimes things feel slow and turn out to be actually quicker. Not bad for attempt 1. I think we're going to be doing a 911 race here. -2 brakes are good for, good for the car. Fantastic, Ricky. Thank you for the comment. Love it when the chat talks cars, because it helps us all learn and grow. Ricky, I look forward to racing with you again in the lobby. So I'm hoping maybe tomorrow night, the online community here that we've got, the JCCR Racing Pit Crew is going to say, hey, let's do a lobby. Just saying, if during race 1 or race 2, we've got at least 5 or 6 to go into a lobby, we'll get one started, because with 5 or 6 racers, it'll draw in outside public, and we can always just boot the excessively after every race. We can just boot the most chaotic Mario Kart style racers. And if it's me, well, I'll just apologize and close the lobby. But no, I'd never deliberately go around attacking drivers. Yes, Only Drive 2024, you will be able to join from your region, but to actually find it, because naturally they're going to suggest to people who are actually in your region or as close as possible for the lobbies. So add as a friend anyone from the current live, or Super Doofus, if you want to throw out my tag, you can add me as a friend, and then when I create a lobby, you click the little button at the top in the lobby that says just friends lobbies, and that way it will show up. Alright, so that turn we're getting better at, because we're not getting completely demolished by the Ghost. I think that's penalty worthy, but I had to find out. Still feel that the easiest car so far has been the Ferrari 458 for being an apex predator. That thing is just pretty darn easy to turn in and chase those apexes. Find the 911's specialty is getting on throttle, coming out of turns. The brakes are actually very good as well. Alright, so we've got 14 in the live community, so thank you very much for that, folks. Very kind to drop in. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn bell notifications on. Otherwise, it's probably the only time YouTube will ever throw out the little thumbnail saying it's live. Do you want to watch this? Oh, Silk, that's unfortunate. I hope you, you know, when I was missing money at times, I milked cows for free, so I never went out and milked cows for a few extra dollars. But I'll tell you, I mowed quite a few lawns. Now I'm mowing lawns in this game, but that's thankful to years of mowing lawns. In college and university, I would do a bit of everything. Work on a beef farm, work on a dairy farm, work for the town, did a lot of overtime, still put in extra hours, because, you know, Thrustmaster TGT2s don't fall from the sky. Now we're in a lobby here with a 139. That is very fast in my books. Far off the time we can pull off, but let's try to get faster as the week progresses. Winning is all about just progress. Constant progress with a few setbacks to help us learn, to keep the challenge interesting anyways. Here we have cars having no idea how to drive in a straight line, hence why the left-right direction. Or maybe it's because they're trying to warm their tires, but something's going on here. Yeah, just got to stay top 8. Copy that, my friend. Oh yeah, putting myself in a position to get speared, but we've made it through. The 911 being not too bad here. Just not really quite attacking there, but since he started attacking, I just wanted to show that I wasn't just going to sit there and let him push me off track. So applied a little pressure to sort of stay on the track and not get speared off. And a little contact there, and I have no idea if it was my fault because I wasn't unfortunately watching the radar. I was staring at the Audi. It is a beautiful vehicle. Everyone was super clean in that corner, and that time I was watching the radar. I tried to put myself sort of in the middle of the hole. Now that was not textbook, and that is not the type of line you want to take on the last turn. I will work on that. Sorry folks for showing you that nastiness. Get a little drift bonus here, a little speed boost from drifting, followed by some overcooking of the turn. Careful coming back on the track, avoid a collision. Now I'm not sure if you guys take that turn in third gear, but I felt like I needed second to stay under control and hold the line. Still adjusting between the new car and the track. Surprising because I've driven the 911 so much, I thought it would just be automatic. I'd kind of hop in and have an as easy or easier time than with the Ferrari 458. I think what I really like about the Ferrari 458 on a track I don't know that well is the incredible brakes. And maybe the easy turn-in. I'm all over the place with this 911. I think this week I'm going to be racing the 458 on this track and trying out the McLaren before making a final decision for the week. Because so far, I think by far I'll be able to be the most consistent with the Ferrari. And I think that's what we all need to do on a weekly basis. New race comes out. Take your usual go-to car, try it out, and then if it doesn't go as planned, maybe consider jumping in a few backup cars, because you might find something that doesn't always fit for you, but then all of a sudden, like the Ferrari 458, all of a sudden fit oh so well. Old primer up ahead. A fellow Canadian racer. Only drive, thank you very much. Oh, how did you like cockpit view boosted? Did it feel just a little bit more tangible, a little more real? Did it help you smell the tire smoke and feel more like you're in, smell that gasoline and feel like you're really in the vehicle? Absolutely, absolutely only drive. Gotta try to get 8, but I don't want to push it so hard that I finish last. I'm not a first or last type racer, but 8 is just about holding on to the C rating. Oh, pushing it just a little too hard, risking that last place spin out. Last lap, we got 3 cars not that far ahead, 2 seconds ahead, so let's see what we can do. And it does look, it almost, oh, from here, who knows, maybe they're making contact, maybe they're not. I'm certainly not seeing puffs of smoke come out. Getting the markers, so that was much closer to textbook. And at the end of the race, I'll review what settings I'm using that I feel work quite well for a beginner to intermediate driver. Of course, the A drivers, they're all running traction control 0, but cover the system that keeps me on the track. Yes, I have the training wheels on. Oh, yes, all right. Only drive, reading out your comments. And if you're wondering who I'm responding to in the live, you'll just need to turn live comments on, even if you're not watching live. A lot of nights we get excellent pro tips, and that's where we hang out, get to know each other, so try to catch them live so you can interact with the online community. 10, so we didn't hold on. Our C rating is going to be threatened yet again. We have to make up a lot of ground the rest of the week. Yes. I have, when I get back into my Toyota MR2 JDM spec, 1991. 1, I also think about how much that engine cost me. 2, I think about getting pulled over by the police and getting a ticket. And 3, I think about, wow, this is weird. What's going on? Because it's on the right-hand drive. So congratulations to Pizza Bike Rider 1. Safety rating went up and you got a first. That's an ultimate win. We've got an ultimate well-earned second here by Roll On, and Joker with third, a bronze position. P Nasty might have been maybe nasty because the safety rating went down. Who knows? Let's see what happened with our safety rating went up. So that is great. Up to 15 viewers now. Thank you so much for dropping in. If this is your first time dropping into the channel, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. It's free. Turn bell notifications on. I know it's annoying that I'm saying this all the time, but otherwise, it's probably the only time that YouTube will kind of suggest this as something you could watch. Yes, the Ford, it's too bad. The Fords are really difficult to drive in this game. So let's check it out. Where are the settings at? Car options are not going to be there. So just want to go over a few car options that I find have been useful and helpful. And getting to know the race. So far we know the Ferrari is completely our style for this track. So we're gonna have to try out a few laps in the McLaren after just going over the settings here. All right, so let's see. For settings, assist settings, manual really does help with brake time. You brake faster. Traction control on 2 to, well, survive. ABS on default. Auto drive obviously off on that one. Drive markers I find quite useful, and you might also want to, as you're learning the track, to have the driving line as well as the brake indicator and braking area on, but I have braking area off. And active stability management, I find I can get more speed with that off, but counter steering assistance on weak I find is good for not getting pushed around quite as much. The car seems to stay just a wee bit more under control. Again, huge congratulations to Aussie Pug, Cosmic Man, Porsche GT, and a huge talent, much talent. This is a huge increase from JCCR Super Doofus. That is top notch, mate. I like the sound of it. Has a bit of a almost supercharged sound to it. Lots of air coming into the engine. Really like the brakes on this. Like the fact that it has a little rear view camera in the back. Taking that corner extremely slowly, so I think I've got 1 or 2 seconds to pick up there. Having real trouble finding my marker for that turn. Completely missing the drive line. That's still going to continue. Curious what kind of lap we're going to get. But the car feels fantastic. For how the McLaren feels on the track, more so than the 911. Despite the 911 being my favorite car, I gotta admit I'm having a better time in this, even on attempt 1. I think this is going to be a 144. Such a long straightaway. Yeah, yeah. Let's try it with more brake balance. Now, let me know, folks who know the McLaren, is this a shift early or a shift late car? Do I need to really rev it out? Seem to like being revved out there. Missing the apex by a quarter mile. Cooked it, fully cooked. That steak's a piece of leather after I cooked it. Missing the apexes like that, it'll be another 144. Gonna finish the lap out of curiosity, but I'm most comfortable. The Ferrari 458, I think, is a perfect car for a late breaker, for someone who's impatient like myself. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Incognito. And that was a good lesson at don't read and text at the same time, but my lap was already pretty much in the garbage bag. And I know Incognito had something excellent to say, as he always does. So glad I caught that. This looks like it's going to be a 146, 147. Last attempt, and I think tomorrow night I will. Oops, sorry. I guess this concludes my last attempt. I'm going to be driving the Ferrari. I love the sound of the McLaren. I love the look, but I need the strong braking of the McLaren as I kind of learn this track. Oh, fantastic! Right at the beginning of, so Incognito was saying for the McLaren, right when the shift bar starts to turn blue, that's your turn and time to make the shift. Folks, thank you so much. Really blessed to have you along the journey as we learn and grow in the game and grow some friends. So thank you for making it down into the basement to hang out as buddies. Melissa, Viking, SMB Boosted, Super Doofus, Silk, Incognito, Ricky Rez Racer, Cheeky, a lot of Mr. Knight Rider Jim, a lot of Christopher Bieber, a lot of very well-known people on YouTube. Only Drive 2024 dropping in on a lot of channels. Some of you having your own channels, such as Viking King Gaming. So very cool. Really appreciate it, and blessed to have the racing community helping out and supporting us here at JCCR Racing, as well as Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. Barbie Mel, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I wish you all more cars and more power. And, well, Godspeed, everybody. Take care. Thank you so much. Have a great day at school or work tomorrow.